These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Sandy Ingram emergency breaking news update. IQD rate changed to $1,300 to $1. Hold on, the fat lady is not singing. The Iraqi dinar has been selling at 1470 dinars against the dollar before the New York Federal Reserve introduction, tightening control on international dollar transactions. Yes, this is not what we were looking for, but this is excellent news for the Iraqi people. We knew there would be a rate change, and we would not be happy with it. We also knew we need to wait for a higher rate exchange to the U.S. dollar. All right, Pimpy says this is great news. We love to see the Iraqi dinar exchange rate go in this direction, the right direction. The Iraqi dinar has increased in value against the U.S. dollar. What else is all right? Pimpy goes on to say, me predicting that the increase wouldn't be above 1 cent. As a matter of fact, I said the increase will most likely go back to the original rate prior to devaluation. I thought for sure they were going to go to 1190 dinars for every dollar, but instead they went to 1300 dinars for every dollar. It's still a step in the right direction. All right, Frank says, media tweet panic selling USD as Iraqis try to get rid of their dollars just after the Central Bank of Iraq's successful measure to reinstate IQD value. Frank says, just wait until it floats at 1-to-1. This is a test run. Claire says, Al-Alak thanks Al-Sadani for lowering the price of the dollar. Your response is quick. Quote, the governor of Central Bank, Ali Al-Alak, thanked the Prime Minister and members of Council of Ministers for their approval of the decision to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar. Pimpy says the Iraqi dinar exchange rate has changed. It went from 1450 dinars for every dollar to 1300 dinars for every dollar. You're looking at a 9.6 increase in value. 9.6% increase in value. Looking very good. This is baby step 1. Just like I said, they're going to go up in increments, small amounts, a little at a time. Mark Z question, so what is your plan if Nader is right and it's a slow grind to get the dollar to a 1-to-1 rate? At what point will you go and trade your currency? Will you exchange a few or deposit it in a multi-currency account? I'm told when it's a substantial change, your banks will offer you a multi-currency account when you come in to exchange it. You'll be able to hold it as dinar in this account, and your account balance will continue to float as the rate goes up. Hope that makes sense. All right, Frank 26, the education to the citizens is becoming a little bit more in depth. They have to know the next step is the float. In my opinion, that's what the CBI meetings in Washington/U.S. Treasury were doing, preparing the United States for the Iraqi dinar to float. All right, Militiaman says today has been a big day. They are telling us they're going to do certain things, and this 1300 was one of the first stages. The second stage is they're going to re-prepare for the 2023 budget. In this context, the central bank governor has stated that that's what's going to happen. All right, walking stick via Frank 26 from 1750 in the streets to 1300 to 1160 to 1-to-1. This is the goal in order to float, and this is what you're seeing the evidence of in it right in front of your face. It's going in the right direction. All right, Mark Z via PDK. I'm still hearing, though, from banking contacts. Now it could happen between yesterday when they announced the rate is 1300 in mid-February. The banking side is more confident than I've ever seen them that we are at the end of this. All right, Bruce via Wiser Now says, remember the international rate you may see is not necessarily what we're going to have on the front screens at the banks. We've already seen some of those rates and much higher, and we're going to be very good for us. Don't worry about that. I'm excited. Let's get this thing done. Let's have a great weekend. All right, Pimpy says you're looking at about a 9% increase in value at the 1300 rate for the Iraqi people. That's more purchasing power. We'll see if the Iraqi people actually feel the increase once the prices start to change. That increase could be so small that it doesn't do a whole lot to the markets. I do think this is their first increase in this year. I'm anticipating a second increase this year. The second increase is really going to depend on how the economy is going. All right, Frank 26, Firefly, the CBI says they're committed to a rate and the dollar crisis was temporary and the dinar is in recovery. All right, and we have Mark Z via PDK. What I am hearing from my sources that the rate will jump down to 1100 or lower in the next couple of days to get the people to finish turning in their US dollars so the working class will have dinar in hand, and then I hear we get a real whammy of a rate change. That is what I'm waiting for. Finally, we are seeing big changes. Bankers are still very excited. They're still convinced it will be in the next few days. And Claire article quote, Iraqi finance requires government banks to adopt the new exchange rate. Quote today, Wednesday, which was obviously yesterday, the Ministry of Finance directed the two governmental banks, Al Rafadain and Al Rashid, to adopt the new exchange rate for the dollar against the Iraqi dinar. And a dinar guru CBI news flash from the 8th, the Central Bank of Iraq has officially increased the dinar exchange rate to US dollar. It is now 13.10 to 1 USD, down from 14.60. Remember, going down in this instance is good for dinar holders. This is a 10% increase in the value. Will the dinar rate continue to float upwards? Stay tuned.